Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Sade, and welcome back to my channel. I'm not really sure what the title of this video is going to be, but for the most part, this is just some serious, like, contextual information behind the little insert of me saying that me and my mom got into a physical fight, and I'm just providing this information for you guys, not to rectify myself. I don't want to come off as pretentious or anything of the sort. I'm just here to share this with you guys because I know that there are other people that can relate to my situation, and I don't want people thinking that I I don't reap what I sow. Let me say this though. Just because I challenge you guys to do the right thing doesn't mean that I always do the right thing and I always make the right decisions. I just hope that in times where I can be not therapeutic but vulnerable with you guys and sharing an experience, you guys will give me perspective about how I should have handled the situation, and I discern for myself how to re-navigate myself into spaces that sometimes can be contentious and conflicting. So let me just get straight into what happened and stuff like that. So sorry if I seem a little like I don't even know, like revved up or just kind of like antsy. I've kind of been like that for the past like couple months. I don't know what it's gonna take for me to like come down and like be more calm or more at peace. I don't know why. I don't have like this settlement that I feel like I'm searching for, and I guess I'm still like on the journey of like finding like this settled calm and peace that I used to have. But anyways, if you've been a subscriber to my channel, you know that I've said time and time again, not too often, but often enough, that me and my mom don't have a good relationship. And we have not had I haven't really provided a lot of information about that. I said that I was going to do a story time about it, and I failed to do so. Not failed, but I just decided not to do one because I didn't feel like there was anything for me to say, because the things that have happened or things that were happening were so reoccurrent that it just felt like too much to say. But now that I've said that, and that wasn't the first time that a physical altercation between me and her have happened, I feel like, and because I gave a little piece, and you guys are kind of like sticking to it and kind of like being like, okay, like provide the perspective. Sade, you're wrong. Oh, some people are saying, Sade, I understand. Let me come here and tell y'all. Sorry, I'm kind of like talking in circles. Anyways, me and my mom have not had a good relationship for a long time, from when I've been born. The only reason I can say from when I've been born is because my grandpa has fact checked this for me. I was not, I was neglected and I was abused as like a baby. And I'm not sure if it's because my mom had like postpartum like depression or like some type of issues, but to me it's very clear that my mom has something going on with her spiritually and mentally that does not have her completely in sync with her humanity. And I know this to be true because some of the things that she's done have been like really cold and questionable. But when I was younger, I just figured I could love her out of it if I gave her more attention, or I clung to her a little closer, that it would transform her spirit into being more loving towards me. And that's the problem with our society, that like you just kind of like learn through certain like social dynamics, whether it's with your family or whether it's with your friends or with your partner. You learn to kind of contort yourself to be exactly what they want you to be like their doja, to be their minion, because you so desperately acquire and want their affection. So when I was younger, I would always like kind of like try to do things for my mom to show her that I cared about her and that I loved her, and it was always like dismissed, and I always got like really intense like beatings, and always like just a lot of like verbal misuse, like a lot of things. Like one of the things that she's said to me before is like, I wish I aborted you, or even up till like last year she said something of the sort, like she mentioned you guys know I was in an abusive relationship with Osazwa and whatnot, and even though that relationship was rectified in a sense through thorough communication and me going to therapy and still attempting to go to therapy and things like that, working things out in communication and stuff like that, to say the least, I was in an abusive relationship. And what really made me leave California was our last big situation where he threatened like my livelihood and he threatened my family. Like these are like, it was a verbal threat. And when I came home from being so like out of touch with myself, from being in like a long, strong relationship like that, one of the things that she said to me after being there for like almost like 20 days was everything was better when I wasn't here. That's what she said. She was like, everything is better when you're not here. And it literally like blew my mind, and it hurt me so bad that I even like wrote a status on Facebook about it. And I felt so corny for doing that because I was like, dang, like I don't want to like be putting my business out. So sometimes like even in the story that I was telling, sometimes things like really slip out of my mouth and it'll come out as pretentious or it'll come off as petty or just corny or whatever the fuck, but it really just slipped out of my mouth. And because it's my truth, I just let it slip and I just let it go, because at the end of the day, I don't have anything to hide, because at the end of the day, I want to be transparent on this platform, because I don't feel like there are enough public social spaces for Black women in particular to talk about intersectional problems that we have in our community with our parents, with our friends, with our intimate partners and stuff like that, with economics, with social standings, with politics. I don't feel like there's enough of that. And even though I come here and I talk about beauty and I talk about hair and I talk about whatever, makeup, whatever the fuck else, I've always wanted this platform to be reflective of the inner workings of what's happening up here. And I try to be a balance between the two. So anyways, I haven't really provided like enough of like what she said and what she's done, but there are definitely times that she's done things that have been very questionable towards like my actual like livelihood. And after like repeated abuse, it's either you're gonna become a victim to that and you're gonna be attached to your victimizer, or you're gonna break away from that cycle and you're gonna be defiant, even though this last particular situation was something of my own doing and stuff like that, and I will get into that later. But you'll either be defiant and just kind of get away from that person and just, you almost end up looking like the bad guy, especially when it's like the young versus the old, the parent versus the child type of thing. A child needs to stay in a child's place. It just kind of becomes this thing where from an outside view it looks very like, what the fuck are you doing, like, so yeah, so let me get you up to speed. So the last couple of months from the time of that dysfunctional family tag, me and my mom were kind of like okay and stuff like that. We were kind of communicating. I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't communicate with my mom and we don't talk and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going to say we don't talk about anything really, but it's not like there's like zero excommunication, she's in exile kind of thing up until recently. But before that, there was minimal communication. Hey, can you come pick me up from work? Hey, can you go pick up these groceries? A little laughing here and there. She's very funny and dark humored, which I personally love some dark humor. But anyways, the last couple of months, I noticed that some of the PR items that I was getting, I was not receiving. In particular, some kinky straight wigs. And the way that the house that I lived in was set up was that there are two other families that live in the house. Excuse me. So, and we had lived like in the middle floor, but we are the main collectors of like the mail. And usually, and we have like a big veranda at my house. And I noticed that some of the packages that I was supposed to be getting said delivered, and I would talk to the companies that were sending me stuff, and they said that it was sent, but I did not get them. So some time goes by and I'm under the impression that my upstairs neighbor is stealing. So mind you, my friend Deja was at my house with me, and I think my cousin Safia. And I was they could tell you, like, I was so upset. I was like, somebody in this house is motherfucking stealing. Like, who is stealing my shit? Like, this is my work. Like, I cannot get paid if I cannot put out these reviews and things of the sort. Little did I know I was going to be backed up once again because I needed to get out the house. So anyways, sorry. I noticed that these things are going. So about a month goes by and I'm watching everybody and everyone's movements in the mail flow, like, very closely. And I had mentioned to my grandpa that, you know, somebody is stealing and stuff like that. He said he feels like that's unfortunate and we could set up something to whereas, you know, your mail could be more protected. And I was like, you know what, let me give it some time. Let me really feel out, like, who's really doing it. I'm sorry, I wanted to say something, but I don't feel like it's appropriate to really say. But, anyways, I'm like watching the mail flow and all that type of stuff, and I realized that I'm getting other packages. Nothing else is going missing. I'm getting clothes. I'm getting basically clothes and hair. I'm getting everything else except these two particular kinky straight hair packages. I think 3 of them actually. And one day I noticed my mom is wearing a new wig, a kinky straight wig. And sometime prior to that, like around the time that I put out the China Lace wig video, I had also decided to work with them for a kinky straight textured hair. And they sent it to me. And I told my mom that I was going to be working with a few different companies and they would all be sending me kinky straight hair. And once I'm done reviewing them, I will give you one of the wigs, because she was really interested in one of the wigs. And I was like, you know, that's no problem. You're my mom. Of course you can have a wig. Like, I get so much of this stuff. It's really not an issue for me to give it to people that I care about, you know, because at the end of the day, I do care about my mom and I do love my mom. And I don't want you guys to think that I don't. But sometimes it's better to cut off people that you love if they're hurting you, like, real talk. So anyways, I noticed that she's wearing a new wig, and it's a kinky straight wig to be for real, for real. And I'm looking at her, and I'm watching her for a couple days because I'm like, I'm noticing this new wig, y'all. So, as I mentioned in the dysfunctional family tag, my mom has a hoarding issue, you know, and I'm not demeaning her by saying that or anything like that. That's really just what it is, plain facts. She has a hoarding issue. She has a lot of stuff, and it's not even stuff that she's really like are super accessible or that she needs. It's just that it makes her feel sound, and everybody has a vice, you feel me? So I'm not gonna judge her on that. Has it been inconvenient for my family? Absolutely. But is it the worst thing that someone could be? No, depending on the situation and the severity. And it's not super severe where the whole house is packed up and you can't move around. But anyways, so I go to the back room where the closet is, and I do have some stuff in that closet as well. And I was like, let me look through her stuff because something is telling me that this wig is my wig. When I go back there and look, not only is it that wig, but it's like the other wigs that I knew I was supposed to be receiving and I did not get. Sorry, that's my heater. And I was like, wow, like, this lady really stole from me. This lady, like, really, really stole from me. Now, mind you, I have, like, a lot of built-up resentment and anger towards her that I don't all the times project to her, especially not in a physical manner. I don't project it to her outside of just, like, maybe an attitude or just, like, I'll think about it, you know? Like, if she asks me to do something, I'm not, like, in a hurry to do something, or I'm not gonna hop, skip, and run to the task, you know, because it just feels like performative, and I don't like to do things that are disingenuous. And I've learned this from my friend Jolynn, like those actual like terms like performative and being just disingenuous and stuff like that. Like sometimes it feels like you do stuff for people and it really comes from your heart. But when I do stuff for my mom, it doesn't feel like that. It always feels like a task that I don't want to do because I don't really stand by her values and her life. And I don't like to be around people who make me feel like I'm doing things for them but I don't really like them. Like, that feels crazy to me. Like, you wouldn't stay at a job that you didn't like and you didn't stand for, and if you didn't like the things that they applied, like, you wouldn't stay there because you don't feel connected to it. You would just be doing the work and getting the pay, but you wouldn't feel it anyways. So I noticed that she steals my wigs. I was so mad. I was ready to tear that whole place up, like ready to tear it up, just because I was so angry and just so disgusted with the fact that she had the audacity to steal the my merch for me to make my money, you know. And I'm not doing anything else except YouTube, and it's not, I don't want to just be doing YouTube, but the circumstance that I'm in right now, I mean, there's more that I could be doing on my own, but I felt like if I invested in this, then I would get the investment back. Anyways, so I'm like, you're stealing my money, and also I already told you that I was going to give you this hair. Like, why would you take it, you know? And I was really disgusted and hurt by that, because I'm like, yo, like, this whole time you had me thinking. I even went to her and I asked her, hey, have you seen these packages? Someone has been taking them, and you literally looked at me and said no. So I'm like, okay. I didn't end up tearing up the place. I gave her a little bit of a cuss, but I didn't really like OD the way I could. I let it go, and after that, like, that was like in November or December, I stopped talking to her. I literally just stopped talking to her. Some time goes on, and me and my sister are having a conversation, and in the midst of that conversation, I was like, oh, we should have like a little family video. I want to have a family video. Everybody consented to the video and what was going to happen, what we were going to talk about, and things of the sort. So I was like, okay, cool. I should have like got them to sign like release forms if I knew that what was going to happen afterwards was going to happen. But anyway, so we do the video and stuff like that. And as I mentioned, my mom was not acting the way that she usually acts. She was acting more like prim and just like, and you know, and stuff like that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that she's not like a quiet person, because she can be, but like, she's a quiet person who is like bad mind. Like, she just be thinking like the most like, and sometimes it's funny, I'm not going to lie, but she be thinking the most raunchy, like, nasty things about people, and I don't know if that's a reflection of her own self-hate at times. And I'm not saying that to be true. I'm not saying any of what I'm saying to be the truth or to be valid or anything like that. She's not here to defend herself and speak on the behalf of what she feels and what goes on in her head. But I know for a fact, and people who have been around me for years, all my friends have known me for years, know that my mom is not, you know, the nicest person, you know? And it's not that she's super, super mean to my friends or anything like that, but she's definitely not the most welcoming and stuff like that. And let's not act like welcoming people are the nicest people and stuff like that. There's a lot of people who wear wolves in sheep's clothing and stuff like that. And one thing I do appreciate about my mom is that she's not a wolf in sheep's clothing. What you get with her is what you get, you know? So you can't act surprised, you know? Because it's like, it's right there in your face. But anyways, so some time goes on, we do the video and stuff like that. I asked them all for the consent. Everybody said yes. The video goes out, and some time after that, I don't know if it's before or after, I had put out the dick appointment video. And this is also why right now I'm not really like in the close communication with my grandma, because now that my grandpa always told me this thing. He's like, to love somebody is to know somebody. And for me, that is like a stance I stand by wholeheartedly. I cannot thoroughly love you through and through if I don't like the stances you have on life, especially if they interrupt the development of someone's personal growth, or they disregard your humanity, they disregard your femininity, your masculinity, in healthy forms. If it ensues that you are, it's justified for you to be like a victim of something that is a heinous crime that should not be performed on anybody. Like, I cannot stand behind people who share these views, you know? Like, I think that's ignorant. And I think also that's why I have to make this video, because for me, and this is why I've said this before too, there's like a video that I made, it's a Get Ready With Me, and I was talking about the Me Too movement, and I was like, I think that the Me Too movement is so important because it brings shame to those who need to be shamed about their actions. Because without that shame and that public humiliation, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying without it, without like that close, like crucifying eye to look at someone and say that you are a heinous person, there's no way to change things, you know? And that's why it's important to see what's happening to other people and hear their stories. So anyways, that the video goes out and stuff like that, and after my aunt that I really don't like, not my auntie Donna, but one of my aunts on my mom's side that I really don't like and I don't talk to like that and I don't business with like that, calls my grandma and she's like, oh, Sade put out this video and she's like shaking her ass and she's dancing around and in her underwear and stuff like that. That's not what young respectable women do and stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck your fucking respect and your fucking young respectable woman. I am a young respectable woman because I declare that for myself. I set that standard for myself. It doesn't have to be your standard of respect. It's my standard and I'm super comfortable. And then my grandma had related what my aunt shared to me and said the same thing. But not only did she say that, she said that I am susceptible. No, what did she say? That you are making yourself vulnerable for rape. That wasn't the exact wording, but it was something of the sort where it's like, you would be the reason that you get raped. And I was like, I know that you're old, and I know that you're Jamaican, and I know that you're Americanized in some degree, and you have like this kind of like weird complex where your standard of living is like the equivalent of like whiteness and poshness, but that was so fucking ignorant that I can't disregard that you just said that, and it disgusted me through and through, like, and it made me feel so sad and hurt because I was like, you are in the sunken place. And then my mom said the same thing. Now she didn't say that, but I knew that she didn't exactly say it, but her actions and the things that I overheard her say affirmed that those were things that she felt. And it hurt me deeply because it's like, there's no way to justify rape in a way to say that the victim is the reason that the rapist raped. You feel me? Because that didn't stop me from getting raped when I was 7. That did not stop me from getting raped when I was like 14. So I just don't understand why that was the recycled rhetoric that felt so like validated to them. But you know what? They live in their own perspectives and their own ideas of what is right and what is wrong, and I do understand that and I do respect that, but am I going to enforce that and invalidate that? No, I'm not, because it doesn't make sense. And when it does not apply, let it fly. And those are things that don't apply, so I let it fly. So that happens. The night of the fight, again, I hear my mom on the phone and she's talking to my sister. And mind you, I've just been going through so much. Like I'm a couple months out of, I'm still not even a whole year out of like a abusive relationship. And again, me and O have talked and we have, you know, gone through things. We've had like serious like dialogue about how to change things and how to make things better. And we're not even together right now, but I'm just saying, so that's a whole nother different story. But I hear my mom talking to my sister and she's saying, Sade is such an embarrassment and Sade doesn't know what she's doing and why would she embarrass the family like that and stuff like that. And she's also talking about the video, the dysfunctional tag video. She was like, why would she put our faces up like that? And I was thinking to myself, like, homegirl, you really consented to the fact that you were comfortable with this video going up, and now you're embarrassed. And I was like, I understand, you know, you're quite a bit older. And my mom has this thing, she's not like, I think it's Jamaican women and just older women, they just have this thing about social media. They don't want to be on it. They don't want to use their credit cards. They like to go right to the store and do their thing and they diddy bop, and that's cool, that's fine, whatever. So anyways, she says that, and I hear her, and I'm getting so vexed, because in the middle of this, I'm filming my Fashion Nova haul. I'm, like, doing the try-on part, and I was not only hurt, but I was sad, I was mad, I was overwhelmed. I was just feeling, like, a lot of different stuff, and right after she had that phone call, she literally came to my room, like, wild peachy, like just wild, like she ain't say shit about me. Y'all, I did not do the right thing. I was so mad. I literally just, this is what triggered me, sorry. She came to my room, and she came to my room like all peachy, and she like just pushed open my door and she said something. And I got up and I was like, you know, you are so like disrespectful, like it's crazy. And I was like, the nerve of you. And then she had on my wig. She had on the wig that she stole. And I pulled the ponytail. Like I was like, and clearly it's not right, because you see how my neck just went like that, right? Like clearly that wasn't the right thing to do, but I was just so mad, y'all. Like y'all don't understand. Like I was just so mad. I couldn't contain myself, because everything that she does, even like her footsteps, like hearing them in the house, like they would just make my blood boil, because I'm like, I really don't like you for how much you have put me through. And it's like, why do you put me through so much? Like I am your daughter. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. And some people are just, but what I do get is that some people are not fit to be a parent. Some people are not fit to commit themselves to the journey of being what it is to be a parent. You cannot just, it's not a job that you can just quit on. It's a lifetime thing. You can't just get tired and throw in the towel. That's a big decision. That's a whole person. And, you know, we say that, you know, you're an adult when you're 18 and stuff like that. And yeah, that's cool. But to me, that's for the birds. Like, I'm not with that. Like, and that's why I'm going to be so cautious and careful about if I decide to have children of my own, because that's a real whole commitment, a sworn protection of nurture, of love, of truth, of, you know, affirmation, of love, understanding, communication. There's so much to that job, you know? And it's like, you can't just have kids and think that it's going to make things better. And I don't know what my mom's mental state was when she decided to have me. And I don't know what my mom's mental state was when she decided to have my sister. What I will say, though, is that my sister does get better treatment. Despite whatever she may say from my mother, she does particularly get better treatment. And I do think, in a lot of ways, because my sister has expressed this to me, that's because my sister is softer with her. She is more, at least at this time, she's just more like, she's just kind of like, oh, well, let's just act like you didn't say that. I'm in any situation, if someone says something that does not sound right, especially if it's not morally sound, and if it hurts other people or hurts yourself, I cannot stand by you in those situations. But my sister is more like docile when it comes to that, and it's not so much that she agrees with you, it's just that she's not gonna go back and forth with you like that. Sometimes me, I'm not that type of person. Like if you said some real outlandish shit, I'm like, yo, what are you saying right now? Like, why would you say that? You know, because sometimes I really just want to know, like, what the hell is going on in your head that just made you feel wild comfortable to say some crazy ass shit like that. But anyways, this is like long as hell, and that's what happened. That's what happened. Only recently, like the past, like maybe 5 days ago, what's today, the 15th of April, only like 5 days ago, like on the 10th, is when me and my mom started like communicating, really. But before that, I haven't really had much to say, and I don't think I will have anything to say. I don't hate my mom. If anything, as crazy as this sounds, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm gonna cry. This is so crazy because I've never like said this out loud, but like I feel like I hate myself for not being able to handle the situation a little more appropriately, or not being exactly what she needed me to be. I don't know what that is, and I cannot be it for her, because everything that I've ever tried to do has been wrong in her eyes. So it's not a me thing, it's a her thing. And now that I know that, I don't go out of my way to validate myself in her eyes. And I'm okay with that. And I let it go. I just let the idea of that relationship go. The idea of having a relationship with my sister, I let that go. The only way that these things can be rectified fully and healed, if anything, is through thorough communication or some serious like group therapy. And I don't think anybody wants to do that. I don't mind. I'm a bitch like me already in therapy and stuff like that. I mean, I'm waiting to get some coin back so I could go back and stuff like that. But I don't mind committing myself to getting help. You feel me? Especially if it's like inner workings. inner workings, I don't mind it. But they're just so set in their ways that they're just not on that journey, and that's cool. I'm not gonna force nobody, I'm not gonna coerce nobody, I'm not gonna push nobody to fulfill avoidance that can be filled, you know? The doors are always going to be there. I'm always going to leave it open for us to talk and for us to do things. But for right now, that's where we're at. That's what it is. That's what happened. Hopefully this makes sense. This is not nearly any we're close to all the things that I've experienced, especially when I was younger, It's a lot deeper, And if I was talking from my own accord, I would say that. I would really say that. But it's really not just me. Other people, like my grandpa, like my grandpa, who is her father, has noticed the mistreatment that I have experienced from young, you know? My friends have noticed the mistreatment. And sometimes they see me and they be like, Shada, you being wild mean right now. But it's like, I just have so much resentment. And it's like, it's so hard to let go right now. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. I'm not trying hard enough. Let me be real. But I am trying. And it is a process. So, that's what it is. That's what's up and stuff like that. Again, this is just the tip of the bird, and there's no other. I'm not gonna get any deeper than what this was with it, because at the end of the day, some stuff does have to stay private and stuff like that, just for her own well-being, for my own well-being and stuff like that. Because when you put yourself on a public platform, you are susceptible to being under attack by other people with different perspectives and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm not here to rectify anything. I'm just here to tell y'all what the tea was and what it is and what's real. And my real doesn't have to be her real, and her real doesn't have to be my real, and y'all real don't have to be my real, and vice versa. It's cool. But this is what it is. This is what I wanted to share. I love you guys. Please leave your perspectives and your comments and anything that you feel. If you want me to be a sounding board to what's going on, or if you have something going on at home that you just need to vent and let go of, leave it down in the comment section below. I really do love you guys, and I really do appreciate this platform. Thank you for all your support and your love, even in the midst of a 2-month hiatus. Y'all are dope. Like, that's all I can say. I love you guys, and yeah, happy Sunday.